All right, so today we're going to be reacting to another one of Refined's videos. It's called Killers Have Had Enough. It's Time, Dead by Daylight. I'm looking forward to seeing what Killers have had enough of and what it's time for. But before we get into that, if you could, go follow, go sub to Refined, like his video. I'm going to like the video right now. I'm sure I'm going to like the video. I loved what he did with the other one that I reacted to. And he has been so kind to let me continue to react to his video, some of his videos. Looking forward to checking this out. And remember, my video is in no way a substitute for watching the original video, the original piece of content. Please support Refined. And so yeah, let's just get into this and find out what he has to say about its, what it's time for.
The current Dead by Daylight meta is stale, predictable, and overwhelmingly tilted against killers. At this point, calling it unbalanced feels generous.
That's kind of always the case, though, when you really think about it. I mean, well, when there's a new meta, everybody uses the same stuff. I tend not to, just because I like to mix my perks up a lot. I get bored using the same stuff, but that's just me. Now, let me know what you think. Do you tend to use the same stuff over and over?
Glad I didn't just straight DC. What the fuck? Killers are stuck in a cycle where they have to rely on the strongest possible meta perks just to keep a map.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. And again, I don't play a lot of killer just because I'm ass at it. And but yeah, I mean, he would definitely know.
Match remotely competitive because survivors rarely, if ever, handicap themselves in return. And honestly, can you blame killers? The game as it stands gives them no breathing room. 2025 was supposed to be the year things changed. It was marketed as the year of quality over content, a chance.
Yeah, but when you think about it, survivors don't have a lot of room for mistakes either. They have to run the best perks they have too. So especially, well, if you're going against me as killer, you don't have to. You can bully the hell out of me. But if you're going against somebody who's good like Refined, I would say, yeah, you have to run the best perks and you have to play Switty. You're not going to have a chance. The dude has 170 game win streak as Vecna. That's freaking amazing.
For behavior to finally fix long-standing killer issues, clean up bugs, refresh the gameplay, and stabilize the foundation of the entire experience. But instead of progress, what did we get? Delays, broken updates, a flood of new issues, and a meta that refuses to evolve. We are nearly at the end of the year, and the game feels more lopsided than ever.
Now, I do have to agree with that. And that may just be because so you're hearing from two different people, two people on the opposite end of the killer spectrum. I'm terrible at killer, and I agree, and he's really good at killer, and we kind of share the same outlook on it. Time for change.
A huge chunk of the killer roster is still riddled with bugs, some mildly annoying, others downright game-breaking. Killers have gone months without essential fixes, while survivors continue receiving updates and perks that repeatedly soften their downside.
Now, I didn't know until I started reacting to him just how bad killer was right now. I didn't know that there were all those bugs, because before making these videos, I had not played killer in I don't know how long. I need to play more. That way I have a better understanding of what it's like to play both roles.
And reinforce their safety. When killers ask for help, they are ignored. When survivors complain, solutions drop almost immediately. And
well, survivors buy more cosmetics. I said it before. I'll say it again.
Need to acknowledge the core issue. Behavior has spent an entire year talking about prioritizing quality while completely ignoring the killer side of the community. Killers were excluded from surveys, killers were shut out of communication, and killers were told through silence that their experiences didn't matter. Meanwhile, survivor feedback shaped patches, perk reworks, and even map adjustments, such as the palette density update. How do you balance a PvP game when half the player base isn't part of the conversation?
He's right about that. If you're not gonna, you need to listen to both sides.
Something absolutely clear. Killer enjoyment matters. Killers are players too. They deserve fair gameplay, reliable mechanics, and a voice in the direction of the game they spend hours in.
They do, because if you don't have killers, you don't have a game.
It's heartbreaking seeing dedicated killer mains uninstall because they feel unheard, unsupported, and unprotected in the current meta environment. Now, let's talk about balance and why killers are stuck. Killer meta perks are nowhere near as strong, reliable, or effortless as survivor meta perks. Survivors get instant value. Killers have to work for.
He's right. You do have to work as killer to get, your perks they work depending on if you do something. Survivor perks, you just push a button.
Every second of value, sometimes performing multiple steps just to activate a perk that survivors can shut down in a moment. Take Pain Resonance, supposedly the best regression perk in the entire killer toolkit. To get value from it, you must find a survivor, chase them, injure them, down them, pick them up, find an RNG dependent scourge hook, and hope survivors haven't already popped that gen you needed to regress. And after all that, you get a single 20% regression, up to a maximum of 4 times.
Yeah, it's not enough. That is not enough. That is ridiculous.
Meanwhile, a survivor presses shift and W and gets full value from sprint burst. They get downed and automatically get value from decisive strike. They perform one safe unhook and unlock deliverance, which can flip losing games instantly. Survivor perks provide consistent, effortless power. Killer perks demand precision, conditions, RNG, and mechanical success.
And I'm guilty of this too. I mean, as a survivor, we get cocky. We think that we really think we're doing something, whenever we beat a killer or outmaneuver a killer or something like that. And really, they're holding our hands when you think about it. I know some of you may not want to hear that, but we got to be honest about it so we can make it better for everyone. We have to be honest about what it is.
It's not even close. This imbalance extends to information. Survivors are told when killer perks activate. Take Disillusion for example, which literally announces itself on their screen. But killers get no equivalent visibility. Imagine for 1 second if killers could see someone that had Decisive Strike or Deliverance. Survivors would riot immediately.
He's right. They would. And then behavior would change it. But why? Again, more people play Survivor. Some more Survivor cosmetics are bought. So they're protecting their wallet.
Yet killers are expected to play blind into setups that can completely ruin an entire match. This is why killers cling to meta perks, not because they want to be toxic, but because the game does not allow them to experiment. Survivors are free to run strong builds,
He's exactly right.
builds, fun builds, and random combinations because their baseline is safe and forgiving, especially if they only bring 1 second chance perk each. Killers.
And so suppose you don't play that way as killer. You don't run the meta perks. You just run perks to have fun. Whatever. When you get beat, it's gonna be, oh, good game, easy, get good, and shit like that. And does the killer player really deserve that? I mean, when they do run the meta perks, you cry about that. Oh, you only won because you had this perk. But when they don't use those perks and you beat them, then you're an ass. You're still an ass. Yeah. Just be nice.
Do not have that privilege. If killers run a fun or alternative build, they often lose before the game even starts because survivors are under no obligation to match that energy. And you see, survivors complain when killers run strong perks, but they run the strongest perks themselves. Survivors complain about killers trying to win, but they try to win every match.
Well, I think that's an ego thing. Survivors, they want to just assume that they're good, and when a killer shows them that they're not, well, then it has to be, well, it was your perks, or it was because you did this, or because my teammates did this. It's never, I lost because I'm not that good, or I lost because I played stupid, or I lost because I made this mistake and I knew I shouldn't have done that. It's an ego thing.
Survivors complain about killers bringing slowdown, but they bring Gen Rush perks every game. It's simply hypocrisy. And it's one of the main reasons the meta feels suffocating. Dead by Daylight could have amazing build diversity, but it doesn't. There are dozens of fun, interesting, creative killer perks that most players never touch. And why? Because killers are punished for creativity. If you bring a fun build and your survivors bring full meta, you've just handicapped yourself into an unplayable match. Killers can't afford experimentation because survivors don't have to meet them halfway. All of this creates a stale, one-sided experience where killers are stuck looping the same perks forever, and not because they want to, but because they have no choice.
I guess I never thought about it because I don't go into, like, I've never done a win streak. One thing, I'm not that good. But also, I play, like, if I get one or two funny things that happen in the game, I feel like I've had a good game. I've had fun. I don't have to win every time, to have a good time. Now, being bullied is something totally different, because that feels awful. You feel like crap when that happens to you. I've had that happen to myself, and I've done that to killers, and I'm kind of a reformed. I kind of think that I don't do that as much anymore. And when it does happen, I don't want to say bully. Let me think. If it's something that it's in the part of the game, like flashlighting and stuff like that, body blocking, I don't consider that bullying. But suppose I get 3 or 4 blind saves, and then that killer tunnels me out. It's funny. It's funny. I kind of got what I deserved. That's the way I look at it. And I guess I just play more Survivor, so I can just look at it from a Survivor point of view. But when a killer does get me, I think I can appreciate the killer's skill, and respect them. Just like when I played basketball and I got dunked on or something, I could appreciate my opponent's skill. Or when I was running races and I'd get blown out at the end, I appreciate what that person put in to getting that good. If that makes any sense.
So what needs to change? What would actually fix the game? Well, here's what behavior must do if they actually want to stabilize the game and give killers a fair environment. Number one, behavior must start communicating with killers. Not selectively, not superficially. Killers need representation in surveys, feedback cycles, and patch-related decisions. You cannot balance kill rates, perk strength, or overall gameplay if you deliberately shut out the people experiencing the worst side of the game. Survivor voices matter, but so do killer voices.
He's right. Everyone's voice should matter in the game.
Balance doesn't mean ignoring one side to keep the other happy. The second point is fix killer-sided bugs and mechanical issues immediately. Many killers are genuinely unplayable due to long-standing bugs. Players who want to enjoy certain characters simply can't because they're broken. Survivor-side quality of life improvements have repeatedly taken priority over killer-sided functionality, and
that's just not right. Again, until I started watching his content, I had no idea that it was that way.
that cannot continue. Stability must come first, otherwise the foundation of the entire game remains cracked. The third point, address generator speed and perk imbalance. Please. Generator speed is the #1 factor driving tunneling, camping and slowdowns. Gens fly even when survivors bring no items and no gen rush perks. Add hyperfocus, stakeout, some toolboxes or brand new parts and the game becomes unmanageable. The base pace of generators should be controlled by the game, not by perk stacking. Survivor items and perks should have minimal effect on gen speed, and killers should not be forced into running slowdown every single match just to buy time. Perks that require effort should be strong, and perks that give free value should be weaker.
I agree with that.
Right now, survivors get the opposite. The fourth point would be to overhaul the MMR and tutorial system. New players are thrown into the game with almost no guidance. Killers don't learn threat control, survivors don't learn looping, and both sides end up in horribly mismatched games that contribute to burnout. A proper, modern tutorial would give both roles a better foundation.
Yeah, I agree with that. We do need a better tutorial. And I think they should break it down into pieces, like looping and flashlights and I'm thinking on the survivor side, I don't even know what you would do is how you would break it down into killer and make it better. But I'm sure Refine has a good ideas on that, and I'm sure there's a lot of killer players out there who could speak to that if they were just listened to.
A reworked MMR system would prevent stomp games and easy killer frustration. Better education equals better matches, which also then equals healthier gameplay. If behaviour actually committed to these steps, Dead by Daylight could finally move forward. And the thing is, it's not too late. The game can still be saved, but only, and I mean this, only if behaviour stops treating killers like an afterthought. Killers do...
But I don't think they've ever really listened to killers. I can remember, like, way back in the old dev streams, whenever someone was talking about how they felt about killer, and Kote said, maybe play something different. I could have that wrong, but I'm pretty sure that I remember that.
You deserve a voice, stability, fair gameplay, balanced perks, and equal communication. Survivors aren't the only players who matter. Balance means protecting both sides, not just one. Thank you for watching, gamers. You're all absolute goats. If you want to discuss this more, hang out or talk about killer-sided issues in a supportive community, join us on Twitch and drop a follow, and hop into the Discord. It's where most of us chill when we're off stream, and you'll get a warm welcome from some truly goated people. If you have any thoughts, experiences, or frustrations of your own, drop them in the comments below. I read all of them, and they help shape future videos, honestly. Until next time, gamers.
All right, guys, that I happen to agree with almost everything he said there. And as a survivor main, that's pretty amazing that we can agree. I wish we could all agree on things like that. But guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do all the YouTube stuff. Like, share, comment, subbed if you haven't already. We just hit 9,000 subs here on the channel. Thank you for everyone who subscribed. Hype if you're watching on mobile and you have any hype points left and you enjoyed the video. But yeah, and go support Refined. Again, I will share all of his contact information and the link to the original video in the description. Guys, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.
Living life, every day, late at night, not okay. All I want, and I pray, all I need are some better days.